All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Not Your Average Chit. I'm Rand, and with me is.
I'm Tina.
And here on Not Your Average Chit, we like to talk about board games. And not just any board games, but the ones with a little bit of quirky attitude to them and some like interesting social interactions. And here with us today is Wine Rating. Wine Rating is a game from Jugame Studio, which is a Japanese publishing house. And it's a quirky little small box game about being a wine critic. We're going to be playing our ratings onto different wineries and then investing in true capitalistic style into the wineries that we rate. And whoever owns the winery are going to get the points based on the critic ratings that are in the rows and the columns of those cards of those wineries. So, moving on, we'll get into the teach. So here we have set up a game of wine rating. This is set up for 2 players. It plays up to 4, and it comes in this small box. And it's pretty much just the score track over here, these player cards. Tina is going to be playing red. I'll be playing yellow. It comes with a very small deck of cards and some player pieces and the coins and this nifty little start player token, which is a quirk. Alright, so let's get into the teach. Alright, so wine rating, as I described, we're playing wine critics, and we're going to be playing into this field of rows and columns. We're going to be playing cards, and each card, when it's played, is going to go into a coordinate in that row and column grid and count toward that row and column for points at the end of the round. To begin the round, we get 4 coins onto our little player card that can be used for invest actions or when we play a swirling card, and we'll see those a little bit later. To start the round, we're going to have 4 face down cards, kind of swiping across the grid, and they have to alternate color, so red wine and white wine, red wine, then white wine. And the cards that are in the deck are cards rating from a 5 value, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then a 0, which are the swirling cards. They're a little special. I'll explain these in a moment. And then we have 2 different negative values. We have a -2 and we have a -3. And those cards are going to be, there's going to be one of each one of those values in red and in white. We're dealing with wine, so of course it's going to be red wine and white wine. Each player is going to get 6 cards dealt. So in a 2-player game, it's 6 cards. 3 players, it's going to be 4, and then in a 4-player game, it's 3 cards. So we get our hand, and once we see our hand, we're going to choose half of the cards to pass to the player on our left. In a 2-player game, there's only one other player in the game, so it doesn't matter which direction you pass. But you take 3 cards that you don't like and pass them, and then you're going to get 3 cards in return. Then, in alternating player order, you can take one of 2 actions. First action that you can take is playing a card into the grid. You can play a card anywhere into the grid that is empty. So I could play a card there. It doesn't have to be adjacent to any other card. You can play it just about anywhere. The card that's a little funky when you play it to the grid are these 0 cards. These are called swirling cards. And the way these work is if you play it just as it is, it's 0. It counts as a 0. It's not good or bad. It's just a null card, basically. But if you look, there are these 2 circles at the bottom that look remarkably similar to these coins. So if you play these 2 coins onto it, you can actually swap this card with any other card that's on the grid. So you could swap it with a face down card if you wanted to. You could swap it with a face up card. There's all kinds of ways that that can be helpful for you during the game. But using those 2 coins robs you of a chance to do the second action available to you on your turn. So the first action available to you on your turn is playing a card into the grid. If you choose not to do that, you can take the invest action. When you do an invest action, you take 2 coins from your player board and place them onto vineyards. You can put them onto separate vineyards, or you can put them onto the same vineyard to be like extra power in that vineyard. If I'm already on a vineyard and Tina comes along and places onto that vineyard, even with 2 coins, she's the minority shareholder. I got to 2 coins first, so I'm still the primary owner. I'm going to be the one that scores for that row or column. If, say, I put 1 coin there and 1 on the Californian estate, she comes along and takes the Yamanashi winery with 2 coins to my 1 coin. So my 1 coin stays on the card and her 2 coins move into the owner spot. Pretty straightforward. So we're going to continue these 2 actions, well, one or the other in alternating order until all of our cards are onto the board and all our coins are off of our player boards. Once that happens, we're going to add up the scores. We add the scores in the columns going down. You just add the values that are on the cards. We're going to flip these hidden cards over and see what they've added or subtracted from our winery's value. And then here's where the wine type comes into effect. We've got white wine and red wine. If we happen to have a row or a column with all white wine or all red wine, then it's going to score an extra 5 points. So let's say that these white wine cards were played along here and this red wine was played here. This row would get the points that are on the cards plus this face down one. So this would be 6 points. This doesn't have any coins on it, so it'd still be 0. And then it would get 5 additional points because it's all white. So it's for 11 points total. The column is just going to get whatever the face value is. So it'll get -3, -1, +2, and then because this one has coins on it, it's going to be 2 more points for a total of 4. Pretty straightforward. Got it? At the end of the round, whatever coins that we have on these wineries, we're going to take half of them rounded down back into the kind of supply. Each round we only have 4 coins to spend, so we're not going to be able to put those back out on the board. So rounded down means that if you have 1 coin on a winery, that coin will stay. 2 coins we round down to 1, and 3 coins we're only going to take 1 off, so you'll still have 2 coins remaining, and so on. We'll play 3 rounds, and then the winner is the person with the most points after 3 rounds. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So let's shuffle these back up and get started. All right, so we need cards in the diagonal first, and then we'll deal. Here's your 6, madame. And you guys can kind of play along with me. I'm going to show you my cards. So this is my starting hand. So you got that? Rob, I'll get to you in just a sec after I trade these cards. So I'm going to get rid of these three.
This 3 is for you.
Thank you. So these are the 3 that I'm dumping.
Well, I can look.
Yep.
They're mine.
There you go. They are yours. And now I'll let you see the hand that I've got to start with. Alright. Alright, so the Australian vineyard here. So this was a negative, and this was...
It was a 4 or something.
Yeah, so you can see on the cards that we have negative values in addition to the positive values or the neutral values. If the neutral values have coins taking up these, this is a swirling card, it plays a little different, but if it has coins on it, then it's actually worth 2. If it doesn't have coins on it, it's just 0. This is almost an open information hand. So I'm start player, and we'll get off and running. Let's just go ahead and make things bad. So the Yamanashi Winery and the Domaine Bourgogne. And excuse me, my French is terrible.
Anyway. Start slow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be wrecking things. So let's do this. Wreck the Californian estate and the Chateau Bordeaux. Alright. I think it's time to play one positive card. Let's do... Let's do this one here. And that gives you an interesting decision. Yep, I thought as much. Alright.
Wait, I have another one.
Oh, you do have another one. That was an interesting choice. Alright, so let's do... Can you show me your card backs? You have 2 of each? Okay. Let's see. Oh, what the heck. We'll do this.
It doesn't want to.
Alright. And I get... Oh, I didn't put my 4 coins out. This one's going to be worth 2 because it has the 2 coins on it. And I use the swirling card action.
So can you even... There's a question. Can I put the 0 and do the same thing? Like... Swirl this one to anywhere?
Swirl this 0?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can. You can swirl a swirl. I should go ahead and invest up here, huh? Over there. Ugh. These other ones are ugly. I'll go here. You might be right, Rob. I may have just misspoken. In fact, you probably are right, because you have instant replay, and I don't. Let's do this. Oh, you still have 2 points. do this year. Go for it. Are you going to swirl? No? Okay. It's already -3. I'll do this. And now you get to use your invest. Alright, so now that everything's filled up and we have all the invests finished, we can flip over the hidden information. Alright, so we've got, we'll start on the German Schloss. So the German Schloss is going to be 5, 7, 12 for me. The Yamanashi Winery will be 4, 1, 2, 5 for Tina. The Californian Estate will be 2 because of the coins. -3 will be -1. -2 will be -3. +4 is going to be 1.
That's bad.
That is barely palatable wine. Californians need to learn. The Australian wine, let's see if we can do Rob proud. 5, 9, 11, 14. Stellar wine. Oh yeah, and the +5 because it's all red. So how much was that? 9, 12, 15? Oh, 9, 11, 14?
14 and 5, 19.
19. Okay, so 25. There we go. Alright, Rob, your nation is leading the wines right now. We've got the Domaine Bourgogne.
Oh my god, it's very bad.
Which is going to be really bad wine. For some reason, this, even in the practice game, this region was really bad. So we've got -3, -6, +1 is -5. Evening out the Australians a bit. Nobody has Bordeaux, so I won't count it. And then moving on to the Italian Castello, we've got 5, 8, 12, 14, and all white, so 19. 19 and 12 goes to 31. So the Italians and the Australians are making the best wine right now.
Okay.
Oh, I don't take these off. None of them have 2, right?
No.
Alright, so normally if we had more than 2 on our wineries around the edge, we would take at least 1 off, but since we all have 1 and only 1, everything stays. Round 2 in the 2-player game is where it starts to get nasty. Because everybody's kind of claimed their stake and we're just trying to ruin each other's wineries, help each other's wineries. You can have the cork because you will be lead player.
Really behind.
Yes. Right now you're pretty far behind. That's right, Rob. Tina was trying to make you proud. Alright, so we're going to get our face cooked down like that, and then we'll deal our cards. There you are. Alright, so you guys playing along. This is what I've got. And let's do these in the trade. Does that look good to you?
Sounds awesome.
Alright, here you go.
Okay, good.
These mine?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Here's what I received.
You like it?
It's okay. It's not great. I'll let you start us. I'm gonna get my 4 coins.
Here we go.
I imported this myself. I do a lot of buying from like local game stores in Japan, who then send the games domestically to a forwarder, who then ships it to me. But I don't know the forwarder personally. It's just a nameless French company in Tokyo. But yeah, I do a lot of searching for local stores to find these games from. For a while, this was available in Nice Game Shop, the store out of Berlin. All right. You have too many wineries. I'll do that. And typically when I'm bringing stuff over, it's not just me. I'll usually do a group buy with like 2 or 3 other people. So the shipping comes down. It's really helpful. The shipping per game drops to about like $6 to $8, which still for a small box game is a lot, but coming from the other side of the world, it's not too bad. What you got? And if you want more information, James Nathan with the Opinionated Gamers has been working on an article on how to procure Japanese games from the US, especially harder to find ones. And he's been talking to me a little bit, but he should be putting that out within the next couple weeks. I'll try and let you guys know when that drops so that you guys have good information. Oh boy. Yeah, sure. Doing some swirling, I see. Doesn't look like the Australian winery is going to do as well this round, but we'll see. Let's drop this right here. I don't know if you guys have played Songbirds. It's a Korean game, small box game. It used to be called Birdie Fight, and it's been picked up and re-released in the U.S. But it has the same card play into a little grid, and let's do this. Yeah, card play into the grid, but the point values are actually on the outside instead of building the point values in the middle. And it's really weird because these two almost play in inverse of each other. Like here you're playing cards in the middle and then taking ownership on the outside, where in Songbirds you already have the point values on the outside and you're fighting in the middle to gain control. It's cool to see these little card game area control games. Alrighty. Let's drop. What are your cards left? A red? Okay. Let's drop this. Okay, so I'll do that, and then I think I'm going to take Spain. Alright. Was that my only two?
No, those were.
Oh, those were up top.
Discarded one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. There we go. Alrighty. I'm going to flip these over and then score. So the German Schloss is going to get 7 minus 2 for 5 for me. Tina at the Yamanashi Winery is going to get 4 minus 3 is 1, minus 2 is negative 1, and then plus 2 from these 2 coins is positive
5.
1. Plus 5 because it's all white, so 6 total. There we go. Oh, I should have gotten 5 more there, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, we lined up red, white, red, white. Wow. That's crazy. So here we've got 1, negative 2, 3, and 5. 5 is 10 for 36. In Spain, we're going to have 5, 10, 11, plus 5, 16. The Spanish wine's looking good. Yeah, 57. Australia's going to be 7, 10. Not too shabby. Domaine Bourgeon. It's going to be 1. Barely drinkable. Chateau Bordeaux is going to be 6. And then the Italian Castello will be 5 for me. I am really running away. So we played a practice game before this without sound, apparently.
Oh, I was grabbing all of them.
Oh, sorry. I took those 2 there, and then this one comes off, and then this one comes off. And we finished the game, what, 2 points apart from each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really close.
But still be the first player.
Yes.
Because I'm really going.
Definitely the first player. And a couple of weeks ago, I was down in Louisville on a road trip. I was stopping, playing games with friends in Philadelphia, in Cincinnati, and then hanging out with a friend in Louisville who was down there on an arts grant for the summer. And I had this game with me, and we went to a wine bar in the afternoon one day, and Louisville is just So hot in the summer. So we just sat in the shade out on the patio, let the cool breeze come by, and we were playing wine reading. And the only other person that was there was the owner. And he came over and was asking, like, what? You're playing a game about wine while drinking wine? That's amazing. So, we don't have any wine tonight. Sorry. Just water. In my fancy new Peter Sagan glass. Appropriate for board gaming too. When they tell me to win, I win.
Oh, I don't want to give you any of this.
So here's my hand for the last round. I think I'll get rid of these three. There we go. So look at my hand.
Oh, these are really bad.
Yeah, sure thing, Rob.
Okay, let's do this.
Well, have a good morning over there where you are. 1 in California.
Have a great day right there. Okay, -2
Mm-hmm.
on my row.
Hey. Hey, hey, hey.
What?
What are you doing?
Oh my what? I'm doing something wrong? I'm not even gonna think.
Okay. Very, like, rude. Okay.
I'm protecting my winery.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah. Well, let's try this. See if you swirl now. Okie dokie. Let's see. How do we want to play this? Play the 3 right there. I can't take from there. I'll take these 2. And California is mine. Both of them?
You made me doubt it.
Up to you.
Let's see. Your turn.
All right.
So far behind. So you don't have anything to be afraid of.
Put this here.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Kicking me out.
I'm going to kick you out of Spain. Goodbye. All right. So the last round. Oh, that's great. Oh my gosh.
Ouch.
There's lots of pain in the middle. Alright, so we've got the German Schloss is going to get 5, 7, 5, 9. And up here, Yamanashi Winery will have 2, 0, -3, +2. The Californian Estate, these are going to cancel each other out, and then I'll get 3. And because it's all the same, I get 5 more for a total of 8. And then Spain, the Spanish Castillo, will get 8, 13
Best one
total.
of the year.
Yep. So 25 to 38. Now, the Australian winery got 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. At least you made it back to the start. Nope, you're going back down.
I know.
These cancel each other out, and then you're going to end up with -2. So you got to the start and then went back. This is going to be -5, total of +2. And then this is going to be 9, 11.
That's quite different.
That is a huge difference. I don't think I've ever seen a game like this. This is
It's
completely different.
Opposite from the last game we played.
Yeah, the last game we were separated by just 2 points. Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, so that's wine rating. Hope you guys enjoyed. So Tina, what do you think?
I definitely like the game, but it's very similar to Songbirds, as you said, and I like that game. But you can predict this one more than Songbirds, I think, because you know how many cards are in it, and then how many minus cards, how many zeros. So I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, Songbirds is weird because you don't know what you're actually going to be. That's right, Josh. She actually won 58 to 51.
That's a good way to look at it.
So Songbirds, you don't really know until the very last card what your what your scoring is going to be, which is weird. It's really tough to know how to play cards onto the board. This one's a little more straightforward. I think it's easier to pick up and play. We'll probably be covering Songbirds next week or the following week, just to give you a compare and contrast. But yeah, this I think is a lot easier to pick up, and it still has really strong area control elements to it. It still works as a 2-player game. I'm really into 2-player games. We play more on our own than we play with anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's always a good thing in my book. How'd you feel while you were playing?
This round, it was this whole thing. I thought I'm a pretty bad winemaker. That's how I felt.
Yeah. This is wine rating. It's a good one. Jugame Studio does a lot of fairly fairly simple, straightforward, but beautifully produced games. So I mean, the cards in this, the art in it is amazing. Just the little box, the way that things feel is actually really nice. It's got a different finish on it than a linen finish. It's a smooth finish, but it just feels great. The cards look great. Everything's just well produced, which from Jugame I don't expect anything less. Other games they've done are, so last year they did Perfect Hotel, which was an Essen release. This game they did Grand Opening at Tokyo Game Market. In the past they've done Wine Rating, they've done Sakura Hunt, and Organizer, which is not even on their website. But yeah, so if you like this kind of live stream experience, as always, I'm going to recommend a couple other folks for you to check out. Later tonight, Heavy Cardboard is going to be streaming Power Grid, which is my all-time favorite game. It's my number one. I will always be up for a game of Power Grid on any random map. I prefer playing with the stock companies, but yeah, any random game of Power Grid, and they're playing that tonight, so that should be a good time. Other people to check out is Tar Cares, the one Tar. She streams over on Twitch with yeah, just a good group of folks, and they also play mostly medium weight games. But I don't know if they're streaming today actually. But check out the one Tar. She's got a bunch of videos on YouTube. And other than that, if you're looking for quirky games to play, especially like Japanese and Asian games, other Asian games, Nice Game Shop has stuff in stock for you. And just as a disclaimer, if you use the link that's in the description below, we get a little bit of a cutback if you buy from them. Not big, but they're heavily supporting bringing Asian games to the U.S. market and to the European market. They're based out of Berlin. But until next time, I'm Rand.
I'm Tina.
And we're Not Your Average Chit. Thanks for joining us.